Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Driven to Succeed Real Estate Podcast. My name is Brett LaCoy, and I am honored here to have Chris May. Chris May from Exit Springside Realty joining me on the podcast today. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Thanks for having me, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I've been working with Chris now for a while.
It's about 7-8 months.
Yeah, at least. And Chris, I just recently found out, what we want to talk about on this podcast is we want to get to know you more.
Okay.
We kind of want to hear what you have to say about the market, a lot of the things that we're hearing with other people, and really, let's get into the meat of it, because everybody's talking to different people and everybody has an opinion on real estate.
Definitely.
But first of all, I heard that your origin story is that you are from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yes. I'm originally from Las Vegas, Nevada. It started out with living there for the first 15, 16 years of my life, and then my family just up and moved one day out of randomness, decided Minnesota would be the best place,
Some place with snow.
Yeah, going from complete dry heat desert to blizzards.
And then
every year, yeah.
Blizzards every year, and then nice, hot, humid summers.
Yeah. And you get maybe 15 days of decent weather.
15
But other than
days
that, yeah.
Right on. Okay, so you moved back here with your family, and that was when you were 15, 16 years old, and then you got into real estate a little while ago. What made you want to get into real estate?
Well, I started off going to culinary school, getting my degree there, and just a lot of time working in restaurants. And as much as I had a passion for cooking, I just felt like maybe there was a next level that I couldn't achieve, and I felt maybe I got too comfortable doing that.
Okay.
So, when COVID hit and everybody got in their mind of changing their job or doing something different, I got hit with that too, and I was like, real estate seems like a cool choice. It's uncomfortable for me. I'm not a very extroverted person.
Sure.
So I wanted to see if it's something I could even do.
Right on. Well, and you are doing it.
Yes.
Which is great. But I didn't know that you went to school for culinary arts. So I'm going to ask you another question. What's your favorite thing to cook?
Well, when I started cooking, I started learning Italian food.
Italian food, okay.
Yep. So I started off at more of a upscale Italian food. Took my beatings that way, and
right on.
Slowly went from there.
Okay. So very good. So you said that I want to be uncomfortable. So you got into real estate. So real estate isn't as easy as everyone makes it out to be. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I never once thought real estate would be easy. Everybody goes and thinks, oh, you just list a home and it's just easy money coming in. And it can be, yeah. There's some days where a house sells in 3 days, and you make a huge check, and then you're just dealing with a pain, and you know, and it goes on for months, and the check really isn't worth it. But
right, so there's a disconnect there with a lot of people. They think it's going to be easy, but really it comes down to talking with people. And I know you talk with a lot of people, even though you say you're not very extroverted. Yeah. I know that you talk with a lot of people because we talk with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You send a lot of people over my way to get pre-approved. So I guess when you're talking to people right now, I know that there are folks that say, well, right now is not the time to buy. And what are some of the things that you're hearing from people on why that is? And then what do you tell them?
Well, right now, we're dealing with low inventory, as everybody knows.
Yeah.
So, of course, that's a struggle. And then the homeowners are thinking, okay, well, if I sell my house, then what do I go buy? And it's a very valid point.
Which, actually, now that you say that, maybe we should touch on this a little bit. NAV Cash.
NAV Cash.
NAV Cash.
Very awesome program that you guys do.
Yeah. So the way NAV Cash works is, let's say you have a home to buy, or a home to sell, home to sell, but you want to buy something right now. Let's say your family's getting bigger, you can afford the mortgage payment, but you can't afford both mortgage payments. You can't keep the house and then go buy another one, and
because that counts towards your DTI, right?
Yep, that'll count towards your debt to income ratio. So you're certified for NAV Cash. Not everybody can do it. You do have to be certified. So tell us a little bit about how that would work for somebody like that has that home to sell?
Well, it's simple. You can go out using NavCash. You can purchase another property, right?
Yep.
And then you can easily move out of your current property and you can list it with a realtor. And
Yep.
then you don't have to worry about the stress of the showings and, hey, you got to be out of your house so we can bring buyers by.
You can stage it.
Yep, we can stage it, which will help get it help it sell for a lot more.
And faster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great option for people, and you only need to have 5% down conventional, 0% down VA, and it's a really cool program because once you do buy the house with NavCash goes out and makes a cash offer on it. You move in, then you sell your house, and then NavCash actually sells it back to your buyer with a traditional mortgage, whether that's going to be conventional or VA, depending on what they got pre-approved for. So that's one thing. What are some other things that you're hearing from people that say, well, it's not a good time to buy right now?
Just the whole interest rate thing, which I understand, but at the same time, I don't quite get the hold back on the interest rates. Like, historically, interest rates are still pretty low compared to the 13 to 18% that it used to be many years ago.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to happen with the competition when interest rates go back down?
Oh, well, I think of it like a seesaw, right? On one end, you got interest rates. On the other end, you got home purchase price.
Right.
The interest rates are higher, you're going to get a cheaper price on a house. So interest rates go down,
Right.
you're paying more for the house, but
The interest
at
rates
least
are
the interest
lower.
rates are low.
Right. So if you're able to afford it right now, and you're able to go get a house, let's say it's at 7% interest, we don't know exactly what your profile looks like because
Right.
there's about 30 different things that go into an interest rate, and you're not going to know about that until you have a full application in.
Right.
So if you can buy something at 7% and get it for a lower purchase price and then refinance that when rates do go down, and there's pretty good indicators that rates will be going down here within the next year or two,
yeah.
right? Well, now you've secured the house and you're going to be able to lower your monthly payment. But once those interest rates go low, you're going to be spending more on the house and you're going to have even more competition.
Yeah, and going back to the whole COVID thing, when that happened,
Right.
everybody was going 50, I've heard over 100,000
Oh.
over asking price, and still they lost.
Yes, and then cash offers as well. I mean, right now with interest rates being high, I mean, it is a cash buyer's dream.
Yeah.
Because they don't have as much competition, which is another reason why NavCash.
I was about to say
is,
why NavCash is an awesome program right now.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about what you like to do. Like, what's your preferred client? Like, are they buyers? Are they sellers? Like, who do you like to work with? I mean, I know you'll work with anybody.
Yeah.
I've seen you do that. I've seen you bring people that have very low credit, help them with their credit to be able to get them into a home. But what do you like to do? What you talked about being uncomfortable. What's the challenge that excites you most?
The challenge that excites me most?
Yeah.
I think the challenge that excites me most is probably working with first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
In a way, it's a very helpless feeling that you have. Me being one recently, during COVID, I bought my first home and I felt very hopeless, like I'm never going to be able to afford this. It's out of my dream, out of my scenario, and then luckily I had a decent realtor that helped walk me through the process, and I was like,
Okay.
I kind of want to be the person that does that as well. Give people hope when they feel like I'm stuck renting awful apartments or in a living situation that I can't get out of, and it's very possible to own a home.
Right. So do you think that there are more people out there right now who could actually afford to buy a home right now than are actually looking?
A lot more than you would think.
Yeah.
I feel like home ownership is this exalted thing that most people can't reach when it's very attainable for a lot of people.
It is attainable.
And it's not easy. I'm not saying that it's easy either, but
Right, but let's be honest, nothing worth really having is going
Is
to come
easy.
super easy.
Right.
Especially when you're starting out and you're a first-time home buyer. And those are the folks right now that I feel do need a lot of help with our constricted inventory, with our with the prices as they've been going.
Definitely.
What would you tell somebody who's like, yeah, you know what, I do want to buy, but I want to buy in like 2 or 3 years? What's something that you would tell them?
I would say even if you're looking to buy in 2 to 3 years, you should still speak to a mortgage loan officer because they assume you're automatically going to charge them something or run their credit or
Right.
try to sell them something, and that's not the case. It's getting you on a path or a timeline to working towards that.
Mm-hmm.
That way, when you're ready to buy, everything you need is already done. That's the hardest part is submitting documents and getting the
Right.
pre-approval.
Right, because and I think that's a great point. I mean, we actually have a prospective client that we're working with right now. And she sent over her credit report.
Mm-hmm.
And we're taking a look through that, finding things that we need to help with to get her to that credit worthiness score. And then, we're going to be able to say, hey, we're going to need to be able to save up this much money for covering the down payment. We can also use down payment assistance.
Right.
Now, there are caveats with that. Down payment assistance is a great program to help folks that don't have a lot of money saved up, but you still generally are going to have good credit worthiness. Right. So we're working with somebody right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to take a little bit of time. That's what it was, the timeline of it. A lot of times where we see things fall apart, and that can be especially heartbreaking for people, is when they think that they're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And they come into it with a very different attitude of, why can't you make this work? And I think one of the biggest things where that happens is when somebody's self-employed. COVID happened, like you were talking about. A lot of people became self-employed. You're self-employed, right? To be able to use that income, we need to be able to have a longer work history. You need to have 2 years on the job before we can use your income.
Kind of prove that you can.
To be able to prove that you can. So there are a lot of good reasons to have a good real estate agent
Mm-hmm.
in your pocket. There's a lot of good reasons to have a loan officer in your pocket. In fact, I think that those two people really do start building your circle of wealth.
Right.
And then we can add in financial advisors, attorneys, CPAs, all of those things to make sure that you're financially taken care of. Because that's why we got into this business. I mean, we want to be able to help people.
Definitely.
And, we want to be able to be, they can also be very lucrative. We won't shy away from that.
No.
But this is something where why I got into it, and what Brandon says all the time is, this is a customer service job. As much as other people will say it's sales, this is customer service. We are helping people get into homes.
Right. And this isn't something that's taught in schools or anything.
No, not at all. Not at all. So Chris, tell me a little bit about what you've been doing here so far this year. How are you spending your summer? You have any big plans, any trips, anything like that planned?
Hopefully going back to Vegas later on this year.
You are going to go back to Vegas, okay.
When it's a little cooler, like November, December, but
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, other than that, I've just been trying to keep on working with real estate and helping my buyers out.
Oh, that's fantastic. Is there a good time to go in Las Vegas? Is there a time that you would avoid?
I would say probably August, September, unless you like sweating and bumping into other sweaty people.
Right. Okay, all right. So going to try and get back to Vegas. You're out there, you're helping your buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a story of one of your favorite transactions that you did? Give a little bit of the story on how that all went about.
Yeah, and you actually helped me out with them. My clients, Josh and Courtney.
Yes.
They started out and they felt very hesitant about the home buying process. They thought, again, like they wouldn't have a chance or they could never possibly begin to own.
Right.
And even though we had some challenges we had to deal with during the transaction, with your help and everything, we managed to get through it.
Yeah, we were able to get through. That is a special transaction,
Mm-hmm.
actually, because they were vets.
Yep.
And we were able to help them with a VA loan and it was, yeah, there's a lot that went into that transaction. A lot of hand holding, but that's what made it so rewarding too. And we were both able to see him at the closing table.
Which is the best part, is seeing the excitement on their face, like when you finally hand over the keys and they're like, wow, this is it.
Right, and there it's the excitement, and then you just see then you just see like all the stress just kind of like
Melt away.
it's over, we're done, we got it.
Yes.
Well, very good. Well, Chris, is there anything else that you'd like to add to that you think people should know about you? Things about this market. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest thing is when it comes to buying a home, don't let anybody force you into starting the process. If you feel that you're ready, now is a good time, whether
Right.
the market says so or not. And if you're even thinking about it, just getting ready for it by talking to a mortgage loan officer is a great way to start.
Right. And well, right now we have time to help you get ready. You know, it would
Yeah.
have been very, very different. I know there was a lot of loan officers that, they stopped taking clients back during COVID
Oh, wow.
because they were just so busy. Right now is the time to get everything in so that we can help you prepare for that journey.
Yeah, not worrying about the interest rates.
Yep.
They will always fluctuate, and there's always going to be a chance to refinance and get into a better price.
Right. Well, and I guess, I'm going to do one more plug here for New American Funding, is that we actually have a 5-year protection pledge going
Oh.
on right now. So if you go out and buy a house, like what we were talking about, let's say interest rates are 7, rates drop back down to 5.
Mm-hmm.
What we'll do is we'll actually refinance you, and we're going to waive all of our lender fees. So that means appraisal, underwriting, processing, that all goes away. That can save you close to $2,000. And you can use that in conjunction with NAF Cash, which also has a 1.0 buy down. So I guess another little plug there for that.
Man, that's a solid deal.
It is a solid deal. It is a solid deal, especially for those folks that, think there's no hope.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we might have some options for you. So I think that's all we got for today, Chris, unless there's something else you'd like to add.
No, this was awesome.
Awesome. Very good, man. Well, hey, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Brett LaCoy, Chris May, and you are watching the Driven to Succeed Real Estate Podcast. Please like and subscribe if you know of anybody that needs help getting pre-approved for a loan or wants to talk to a real estate agent. Chris is your guy. I'm your guy. Please like and subscribe and share us. We'll see you next time, everyone.